People, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get into a quick review and side-by-side comparison of the GSX-R 750 and the GSX-R 1000. Here we've got a 2023 750 and we've got a 2024 1000. I'm going to pull these bikes out here into the sunlight. I'm going to warm them up and we're going to take them for a quick spin, and I'm going to give you a quick review and analysis of the bikes. So stay tuned, keep it locked, and we'll get this review underway. So as the bikes are warming up, we'll go ahead and get into the obvious right off the bat. We're talking about the aesthetics of the bikes. I personally am attracted to the GSX-R. Now we know that the Hayabusa is modeled after the Peregrine Falcon, but you can still see some of those resemblances in all of the Gixxer models. I just love the way it has that nose on the front. It looks like a Falcon. Look at that thing. 750 and that 1000. They both have that signature look of a Falcon in the front. They're just pretty bikes. The curves, the workmanship. I mean, man, these are beautiful bikes. You know, they almost remind me of a bulldog. You know, they're kind of heavy in the front and then thin towards the back. But enough of that. Let's jump into the ergonomics real quick, because you know, sport bikes are known for being uncomfortable. But I will tell you that when it comes to these bikes, they are quite comfortable. Obviously, they're not going to be as comfortable as a cruiser, you know, or some of these touring bikes. But for sport bikes, these bikes are very comfortable. The 1000 being a bit more comfortable than the 750, but both bikes, being sport bikes, are comfortable. Now, I will tell you that on the 750 you have adjustable rear sets so that you can give yourself just a little bit more leg room. And it's not going to be much, but you can get some. As you can see here, you've got 3 different settings for your rear sets. I've got mine all the way to the bottom, but if you're a shorter rider, you can bring them up and set them back a little bit, you know, to your preference. And again, it's not much, but it, you know, it does count. On the 1000, the rear sets are not adjustable. There are no other places for the rear sets. I don't know if you could purchase some aftermarket rear sets perhaps to change that, but you don't get that option with the 1000. I'm 6 foot tall. I have a 32-inch inseam, and I can flat foot this 1000 very easily. My heels are on the ground, and I do have some angle in my legs, a little more than a 45. On the 750, this one sits much lower, maybe an inch or so lower than the 1000. So I can flat foot this and then some on this bike. It has a much lower profile than the 1000. Now again, being 6 foot tall, I don't have to reach very hard over the tank to get to the bars. So with that being said, I am sitting in somewhat of an upright position. Now on the 750, it is very easy to get down and tuck because this tank and seat are in close proximity as far as the height is concerned. As you can see on this 1000, this tank sits up much higher. So your tank on the 1000 is maybe an inch or two higher than it is on the 750. So leaning over and getting into a tuck position is not as easy as it is on the 750. Again, being 6 foot tall, I have quite long arms, so I don't have an issue reaching over the tank to get to the bars on the 1000. So comfort, or I'll say the ergonomics, aren't very much of an issue. You can see also the seat on the 1000. It sits at more of an angle than it does on the 750. The 750 is almost flat if you look at it, and then here on the 1000, it has somewhat of an angle, more of an angle than it does on that 750. And what that does is it tends to have you slide forward, you know, almost with your groin on the tank. And obviously, as your butt comes forward this way, that's going to cause you to sit in more of an upright position. So you're more inclined to sit upward on that 1000. On that 750, it's very easy to slide your butt back and to stay there because there's much less of an angle. The clip-ons on the 750, they do sit a bit low, so you're going to be a bit more hunched over on the 750 than you're going to be on that 1000. The clip-ons on the 1000, again, I think they're about maybe an inch or two higher, or maybe even more higher than they are on that 750. So the 1000 Caesar, he's at 208 degrees, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut him down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take quick out, just gonna take him around the block real quick just to get my initial feel for the bike. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna jump on Caesar and I'm gonna take him around the block too, just to get my initial feel for him after I've been on the 750. Because a lot of people, well, I won't say a lot of people, but some are in the market for another bike, and you might be considering the 750, or you might be considering the 1000, but you don't necessarily know which one you might want to choose, and you might be a bit torn between the 750 and the 1000. Now, a lot of people are intrigued by the 1000 simply because it is a 1000, and people are, you know, inclined to think, man, I want to get that 1000 because I want to be a part of that elite and distinguished club of leader bike owners. And people tend to sleep on the 750. But I'm here to tell you that this 750 is an awesome bike. Both of these bikes are incredible machines. And I'm here to tell you, I thought my phone was ringing. I'm here to tell you that this 750 is nothing to blink an eye at. So let's go ahead and roll out and get this underway. Now, I will tell you right off the top, this 750 is a raw street bike. There's no rider aids, no ABS, traction control, none of that. Now it does have 2 rider modes for you to choose from. It has your A mode and your B mode. A mode obviously being that most sporty mode, and your B mode being the most reserve mode for the bike. Now, even with the bike in B mode, this bike will still get to its top speed. It might be a little less sharp on the throttle response in B mode than it is in A mode, but this bike will still move out smartly. And I will tell you, as far as feel, there's absolutely nothing between you and the road when it comes to this bike. Now, obviously, the bike is between you and the road. But you don't feel like there's something in between you and the bike. You feel the connection. And unless you have been on a motorcycle that doesn't have the traction control, the ABS, and then you've been on a bike with the traction control and ABS, it will be hard for you to understand or to, grasp what it is that I'm saying here. Because when it comes to the bike with all of the other, aids and things, you feel as if there's something in between that's kind of buffering you and the actual experience on the bike. You feel like there's some sort of intermediary in there, and it is. It's called it's called those rider aids. On this 750, man, you don't experience that. You get nothing but raw bike. So you get a pure riding experience. The inputs that you give to the bike are the inputs that the bike receives and the inputs that the bike responds to. On that 1000, the inputs that you get or that you give the bike, they can be tempered, they can be bridled, regulated, so to speak, so that the bike doesn't respond as acutely and as sharply as it would on this 750. You can feel the aggression of this bike. And even though this bike doesn't have as much power as the 1000, it's evident. The power is very evident. When you get on the throttle, you can feel the bike respond instantly. There's no forgiveness. I tell you, man, this bike is absolutely awesome. And when we talk about the power, now this bike obviously has a 147, 148 horsepower, nearly 150 horsepower. And the bike only weighs 410 pounds. So when it comes to the power to weight ratio, this bike is a slugger. It is an amazing piece of machinery. This is nothing to be sleeping on. And it's low to the ground. So I mean, you really feel engaged. It is the perfect blend of power and speed. So I can guarantee you, if you are in the market for a bike and you wanted a bike that has power, something that you're not going to get bored of in 6 months, this 750 is it. You are not going to get tired of this bike. This bike will get down. So like I said, it's packing a whopping 147, 148, 150 horsepower. That's straight out the box. So I think that really does it for the 750, man. It's an awesome piece of machinery. So nimble. Just an awesome bike. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna jump on Caesar and we're gonna take him around the block. I'm gonna hit that same route that I just took, and you know, we'll get into my thoughts and impressions with old Caesar. Now, before I debark this absolute wonderful piece of machinery, as you can see there, I got 4,213 miles on this bike. And I've done all the maintenance myself on this bike. It has been very reliable. I haven't had any maintenance issues with it at all. I have seen reviews where folks have had their gixxers for multiplied decades, and they have absolutely had no issues with their bike. They are tanks. People refer to these bikes as tanks. They're tanks of a bike. And if you treat them right, they will treat you right for years on end. So that 750, man, is a bad little fella. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now we're gonna jump on Caesar here. And we gonna get after it real quick. But let me not keep you guys waiting. Let's go ahead and get to it. So obviously, as I said before, I definitely feel much more upright and away from the ground. As it's staring me right in the face, you know, obviously you can see that this bike has a display on it, and I know a lot of people they knock the display because it's not a high-speed TFT, you know, with all the colors and, you know, all the immersion that you get with these other bikes. But this one has a digital display, when the 750 has the analog with a little bit of you know, electronic display splashed in there. The 750 has a gas light on it, so when you get low on gas, the little light will come on, but you don't have a gauge to show you exactly how much fuel you have in the bike at any given time. Now 1000 has all that, so if you know, that's something that you're interested in, that's going to be a thing for you to consider. Now, as you can see, this 1000 has a quick shifter, up and down, and it is absolute butter. So right off the top, that's going to give the 1000 some bonus points over that 750. Obviously it's got more power, so you know, that's going to give it some points as well. But I must say, that the power isn't everything. So let's back up a little bit. What comes on this bad boy, this 1000? Well, it comes with traction control, ABS, and it has 3 riding modes. So it has your A mode, your B mode, and C mode. C mode is what I like to refer to as your suit and tie mode. That is the most reserved mode for the bike. You know, you consider yourself, you know, at a dinner, at a function, everyone's being nice and proper. But then you got your B mode, and your B mode, that's more of a you know, reserved casual mode. We're gonna break out our blue jeans, and then you got your A mode. That's your sport mode. That's when you take off your top, you got your balling shoes on, and you're really ready to start balling out. That's your A mode. in between all of that, you have your, I believe it's 13 levels, might be 10, of traction control that you can apply to the bike. So those intermediate settings will also impact the way that the bike responds to the inputs that you give it. So as I was talking earlier about the 750, how, you know, you feel like there's a buffer between you and the bike. There's definitely a buffer here. And a lot of people are under the impression that because it's a leader bike, you know, it's going to be so powerful, and you know, people can't, you know, handle the bike. And I'm telling you, that's not the case, because with all of the this bike can be tamed down so that it is much less aggressive than that 750. The only thing is that this bike is 30 pounds heavier than that 750. Now with that weight, it's obviously going to be a little less nimble than the 750, but for a 1000, this bike is very nimble. Very nimble. So, you know, people saying that, you know, you shouldn't get a 1000 because it's got too much power, and, you know, you might not be ready for it. That's not, it's not necessarily the case. Now, if you go back to some of the earlier generations of the GSX-R, where it was just a raw sports bike, as the 750 is raw, you're gonna be dealing with a whole different animal. And see, the thing is, with this one, this 2024, you can turn all that stuff off. You can turn off all your traction control. I'm not sure that you can turn off the ABS. You might be able to even turn off the ABS. So you can still get this bad boy to the place where, you know, he's a lion out of the cage. He's not caged up. He's not bridled down. But again, on the flip side of that, you can bridle him back so that he responds and corresponds to the inputs that you give it accordingly. And you don't have to worry about the fella getting out of pocket, so to speak. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just jump on the joke and just go to twisting the throttle and acting a fool, because, I mean, it's still a 1000. It's still going to, it's still gonna respond like a 1000. It might not do it just as sharply and as abruptly as it would on a bike that doesn't have all that rider assistant technology on it, if that all makes sense. So, people, I'm here to tell you that the 750 and the 1000 are some awesome machines, and if you were to get either one of them, I can guarantee you, you will not be dissatisfied. I think the biggest factor between this and the 750 is the fact that this bike has a quick shifter. I have come to love this quick shifter. The very day I got on this bike and took it for a spin, the first time I experienced that quick shifter, I thought, my God, what a delight, what a treat, my goodness. This quick shifter just changed the game. And I'm telling you, man, it does. It absolutely changes the game. But the good thing is, and I get it, yeah, you might have to spend a little more money. The good thing is you can buy an aftermarket quick shifter and get those installed on your 750. And I happen to have a quick shifter en route for my 750. And hopefully by next weekend it will have arrived and I will have had it installed on my 750. And you know, I will come back and provide an update to let you guys know how that 750 performs with that quick shifter. And I'm telling you, it will be a fierce competitor with this 1000. It already is. So I mean, I don't know, I may end up liking my 750 more than the 1000 because of the quick shifter. Now I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, I love both these bikes, man. I love them dearly. It's almost like your kids. You can't say that you love one kid over the other kid. You know, they all have their own little characteristics, and there's things about each child that you appreciate, you know. And it's the same thing with these bikes, man. I appreciate both of them for their own little, you know, characteristics. So hopefully this little review gave you guys an idea of what we're working with when it comes to the 750 versus the 1000, and it might aid you if you're in the market for a gixxer and you're torn between the 1000 and the 750. This might help you as far as making your decision, because a lot of people have some trepidation about the leader bikes, and you should, because at the end of the day, once you get comfortable, or if you are comfortable with a 1000, you're going to have more power. You're going to be able to go a whole lot faster on this 1000, and you will be tempted to do it. And you just have to know what it is that you're getting yourself into when you get that 1000. Now, real quick, I'll just again do a quick once around on the bike, because on Caesar I have had some mods done to him, and I just want to touch on those real quick. Since the first video that I posted on Caesar when I did my first initial review, since then I have had my Cormoto Apex 6 wheels that have come in. I have them installed on the bike. I have the Pirelli Angels. These are the same wheel and tire combo as I have on Quick. I got the flush mount turn signals. I got the red double bubble windscreen installed. And I also, as I alluded to, I was going to get my custom brake lines. I have those. Got them installed here on the back. These are the Cormoto with the red banjo bolt, red banjo, and the custom branding. I think that looks beautiful. I got me some rear axle block sliders, just like I got on Quick over there. They're not these same ones, but these are the driven racing axle block sliders. Got me a Toast tidy kit installed. Got rid of those lights that were on the back. And what else? I got me a little custom chain guard. Put me a little Akrapovic badging on it. And yeah, we went ahead and got us some seat covers. I think those look absolutely slick. And we got us some winglet mirrors on there. I know I kind of cheaped out. I didn't get the Rizomas. But I think I might break down and get me those Rizomas. They just cost so much money, man. I don't know if I want to spend all that money on some side view mirrors, but you know, I don't want to cheap out on the bike, man. This is my baby. I'm gonna keep it for as long as I can. So I think I'll end up making the investment and get the Rizomas on there. I also got a front fender, a front carbon fiber fender that's coming in. It's got it's like dark gray, red with a little white stripe. You know, it ties in perfectly with this here. That should be coming in any day now. I'll get that put on. Same thing here. Quick, I've had some other mods done to it. I had replaced the red carbon fiber. As you can see, I still got the red nose cowling, but I'm going to replace that with the black. I replaced the knee sliders with black carbon fiber. The tank covers, replaced them as well as the tail cowling. The turn signal, that cowling there, I replaced that as well with the black. Got me some smoked out turn signals. Got a smoked out tail light with the turn signals integrated in it. I think that absolutely looks sick. I'm gonna show that. Take a look at that so we can see that there. Man, that's absolutely sick. So I think that's about it for the bikes. Turn this light off. I think that's really about it. So people, I think that's it. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys appreciate this type of content, like this type of comment, like and subscribe. Drop some comments down in the bottom. If you got any questions, hit me up. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you guys present. I'm not an OG. I'm not a veteran in the game. I am a newbie. I've been riding just for a little while, but whatever experience I have under my belt, I am willing to share with you guys. So again, thank you so much for riding with me today. We'll catch you in the next one. This is Quick, and I'm out.